This week's focus intensifies the significance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Our top story compiles the traumatic dealings that come with breast cancer.
My grandmother, Lillian Richardson, she passed away February 13th in 2016, and it affected my family tremendously because we always did things with her. Like Thanksgiving isn't the same because we used to always cook with her. We remember my grandmother as a fun, caring Christian person that always saw the best in everybody. I would tell them to cherish every moment of every day with that person because you never know when she could slip away. I really started to get a better relationship with God because she always taught me to go back to the Bible and to pray if anything goes wrong. My favorite memory of me and my grandmother was the day of Thanksgiving, and I helped her cook the meal.
I'm Megan Mabin, and breast cancer has affected my family. I have a mother who, about 5 or 6 years ago, was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. It had gone to her lymph nodes, and so that was a very big deal for us because your mom and your family is the rock. So it kind of shakes your foundation. Fortunately, she had some great care. She was able to beat it, and she is cancer-free now. But I also had a sister who was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. And when you have more than one person in your immediate family who is diagnosed with any form of cancer, really, it's going to shake you up. And in our family, what it made us realize is the importance of prevention. The changes that I had to make were, you take better care of yourself. A lot of people will automatically assume that breast cancer is hereditary. Not all the time, it's not. Sometimes breast cancer is environmental, and that goes for any cancers, but the changes that I had to make to be more aware of my body, be more aware of myself, make sure that I go to my doctor appointments, and just to be aware of what's going on around us. A lot of times we just want to put it in the back of our heads that, hey, that's not going to happen to me. Well, it can happen to anybody. When breast cancer or any cancer enters your family or enters your life, you find a strength that you probably never knew you had. Not only for yourself when you don't have it, but for that person. I know we learned a lot about prayer during this fight. During all of the fights that we've had, we learned a lot about prayer. We learned a lot about leaning on other people and how to accept help. We're a very independent family and a very, very strong-willed, so we don't like to accept help sometimes, but you learn how to let people help you. And you just learn that you have to be aware of you. You have to make sure that you take care of yourself. And you have to take care of your family. And you do that. That's how you cope. You take care of, you just do it. People say, I don't know how I'm gonna live through cancer. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. But you have a strength in you that you just don't know that you had before. So it's very hard to cope with it, but you can, and it can be defeated.
Breast cancer is an ongoing research and new information is constantly being found. Here are Erica Riggs and Yesterday Oliver on the effects of breast cancer on our community and nationally.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and individuals and entities around Demopolis are observing it by wearing and displaying pink in various forms. Why are so many moved to take part in this month? Maybe it is because breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer-related death among women behind only lung cancer. Perhaps it's that about 1 in 8 U.S. women will develop invasive breast cancer over the course of their lifetime. It could be the fact that in 2017, an estimated 252,710 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed, and about 40,610 women in the U.S. are expected to die in 2017. These are women that are our mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, neighbors, and friends. And breast cancer is not only a threat for women, as about 2,410 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in men this year. But there is hope. At this time, there are more than 3.1 million breast cancer survivors in the U.S., including women who are currently undergoing treatment as well as those who have completed treatment. And those treatments are gaining ground in the fight against this terrible disease. That translates to 322,600 deaths avoided from 1989 through 2015. With continued improvements in treatment and diligent early detection efforts, those numbers will continue to get better and better. So fight on.
Here is Anna Kate Golden with Tiger Now School News.
With Halloween approaching fast, the Student Council members and sponsors want to offer Halloween insurance within the city limits of Demopolis. If the event your home or business being egged or rolled, you have the opportunity to file an insurance claim within the day of that incident. The council members will come to your residence and clean up the mess made during the Halloween season for $15. To get Halloween insurance, first you have to fill out an insurance claim slip that includes your name, address, and telephone number. Then call or text if some damage has been made with your policy number on file. The council members will set up a date and time for cleanup as their crew make preparations to tidy things up around your home. All students interested in attending Senior Day 2017 at Alabama A&M, Saturday, November 11th, please see Miss Edwards. Come join the Mighty Tiger Battalion on November 9th at 9:46 to 10:46 a.m. as we acknowledge the devotion and sacrifice our men and women have given to our nation. It will be held here at Demopolis High School in the gym. The DHS cheerleaders, football team, and HOSA would like everyone to join us today as we pink out Enterprise. We invite everyone to wear your favorite shade of pink to honor and remember those affected by breast cancer. Send a candy hologram to everyone here at DHS for $1. JROTC will be selling them before school, during break, and after school. The last day to buy these will be October 30th, and these holograms will be given out October 31st. Demopolis City Schools Board of Education met Monday in the DHS library. During the meeting, the board honored its students and faculty members of the month. Here's a look at those honored. Demopolis schools will be dismissing at 1 o'clock Friday, November 3rd, ahead of the football team's game at Auburn High School. The Demopolis High School cross-country team is hosting a 1-mile run October 21st at the Sportsplex for grades kindergarten through 6th grade. Registration for the events begin at 7:15 a.m. at the Sportsplex, and the cost is $5 per runner. The race begins at 7:30 a.m. and precedes the DHS High School cross-country meet that will take place later that morning. Demopolis FBLA are selling gourmet meats and desserts for Southern Heritage. All orders are due by November 2nd, and the payment is due at time of order. See a member of Demopolis FBLA or Miss Gandy for more details. Students who would like to purchase a Letterman jacket, $100 deposit is due Wednesday, October 25th. Thank you for watching Tiger Now School News.
Awareness is a key component of treating and preventing the dreadful disease. Our own Savannah Williams caught up with Dr. Ty, a cancer specialist, to understand the prevention and causes of cancer.
Breast cancer is so much more than just a medical challenge. To understand more about the treatment and diagnosis of breast cancer, I sat down with Dr. Sean Ty of the Cancer Care Center of Demopolis for this week's Coffee Talk. Dr. Ty is a member of the Southeast Physicians Network and sees patients in Demopolis as well as Tuscaloosa. The Cancer Care Center of Demopolis operates under the umbrella of Brian W. Whitfield Memorial Hospital.
How many cases of breast cancer do you see each year?
It actually does range, but we have several clinics in our practice. So between the two clinics, I would say probably about 20 to 30 patients and new cases of breast cancer each year.
As a doctor, what are the challenges that come with diagnosing patients with breast cancer?
I think the most challenging thing is sitting down and talking to the patient. This is, obviously they've just received some very bad news, and trying to make sense of it all. They have a lot of questions in terms of, why me? What did I do? What could I have done differently? Am I going to die? All these things come into a person's mind when they're diagnosed. So I think the most challenging thing is just sitting down and educating them. A lot of their cancers, a lot of their breast cancer, fortunately, can be cured. It takes intensive therapy, but a lot of patients do make it out and they're cancer-free.
From a patient's perspective, what are the steps following the initial diagnosis?
Well, when they come in after their diagnosis, they're very worried, as expected. And so after their initial diagnosis, we usually recommend either chemotherapy first or surgery first, and then followed by radiation if indicated.
How have treatments improved in the fight against breast cancer?
I mean, in not just only breast cancer, but in all cancers, we have so many new chemotherapy drugs that are coming out there that are a lot safer, a lot more efficacious, meaning it works better, fewer side effects, and also a lot more tailored medicine. Cancer now is a multifaceted, multifrontal battle in which we're gaining grounds in terms of finding new therapies.
What is the importance of self-examination and getting checked by a doctor?
There's a lot of studies that have shown self-breast examination, can help with detecting early breast cancer. And breast cancer can be cured at an early stage, so catching it as early as possible is one of the paramounts of breast cancer screening. Being examined by a professional, whether it be their primary care physician or by a cancer doctor, it helps early detection along with early mammograms.
At what age should women begin getting mammograms?
By recommendation at the age of 40, but if the patients have family history of breast cancer, then about 10 years earlier than the earliest family member who were diagnosed.
What precautions can women take pertaining to breast cancer?
Breast cancer, some of it can be preventable. Majority are not. The risk factors, they were talking about risk factors for breast cancer, meaning overexposure to estrogen. So hormone replacement therapy, meaning extra estrogen in the body, can sometimes propagate breast cancer. So we want to make sure that women who are on hormone replacement therapy, that they not be on for more than 5 years. Certain other risk factors, such as obesity, is found to increase a woman's risk for breast cancer. So we always encourage good diet, exercise, in their healthy daily living.
Our volleyball, cross country, and football team all competed this past week with success from each team. Here are Chandler King and Tyler Hill with sports for this week.
Plus cross country team is ready to hold its first home meet in school history this Saturday at the Sportsplex. The event will also have a 1-mile run for students beforehand. For more on what this occasion means for the program, we caught up with Coach Deborah Boykin.
It's a cross-country program at DHS established.
Well, we're headed into our 4th season this year.
How important is it that the program's hosting its own meet?
It's very important. It's additional exposure for our cross-country team. It allows people in the area to see what kind of course we have to offer. And the course we have set out at the Sportsplex is really a nice course compared to some of the other ones that we've been to. And we usually have to travel quite a ways, so it's nice to be able to wake up on a Saturday morning and just go right down the road to the Sportsplex.
How much work goes into hosting a meet?
A lot. You've got to, first of all, you've got to plan your course. It has to be exactly a 5K. Then you have to decide how you're going to lay it out. Invite teams to come, which has been probably the toughest part of our the course or the meet that we're planning, because there aren't many schools in our area that have cross-country teams. Jackson High School will be coming up this Saturday for part of our meet. It's a lot of planning as far as how the meet's going to be timed. We need volunteers to help around the course to make sure that the kids know where the course is being run, things like that.
What is the next major milestone for the program?
Well, we've got sectionals coming up the first week of November, and then a week after that we go right into the state competition.
Thank you.
The Demopolis football team beat Sumter Central 58-8 last week to win the region championship. A.J. Jackson and Antonio Bastida led the way with 3 touchdowns each. The varsity volleyball team wrapped up its regular season last night with a match against Linden and will compete in the area tournament next week. Here is a look at the week's Tiger Sports highlights.
Here is Tori Horn with Pop Culture Talk. Thank you for watching Tiger Today.
Hey y'all, it's Tori, and this is the Pop Culture Talk. Season 2 of Riverdale premiered on the CW last Wednesday, and it was crazy. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Today, we're going to break down everything we know about the Riverdale spin-off, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is currently being developed by Warner Brothers Studio and the CW, and will be a short horror series that will reimagine the origin and adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a dark coming-of-age story. This adaptation finds Sabrina wrestling to reconcile her dual nature, half witch and half mortal, while staying against the evil forces that threaten her family, and the daylight world humans inhabit. It is rumored that Dove Cameron will play Sabrina because of this Instagram post. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is set to run during the 2018-2019 TV season, but there is speculation that Sabrina will appear on Riverdale before then. After all, Jason Blossom traveled to Sabrina's hometown, Greendale, before his death in the Riverdale series premiere. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on The Pop Culture Talk.